In the top stories, Urban Development Unit outlines plans to improve the Federation's urban centers. Lula leads Bolsonaro in polls as Brazil votes in tense presidential contest. And Hurricane Ian death toll rises above 80. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today is Monday, October 3rd, 2022. I'm your presenter, Shanique Harvey. Nationally, as the Urban Development Unit prepares to host a week of activities, the unit has outlined plans to improve the Federation's urban centers. During the National Emergency Management Program From Danger to Safety, Acting Director of the unit, Ron Buddy, explained that the Urban Development Unit has identified a number of challenges and a plan was drafted.
Over the past few months, from the beginning of 2022 actually, we embarked on preparing a plan, Urban Resilience Plan, that's the name of it, for Greater Bastille. A consultant was contracted and he worked closely with our main partners, including physical planning, Inland Revenue Department, the Chamber, NEMA of course, plays an important role, and a few others, like Human Settlement and so forth. So we would have come up with a plan which we want to invite the public, once the plan is finalized, to take a look at what we have in mind and share their ideas and opinions on this particular plan.
He noted that one of the main areas of the plan is to rehabilitate abandoned properties. Buddy explained that the unit has also looked into short-term and long-term issues that could affect urban centers.
Well, first of all, we looked at the shocks and the stressors that create the challenges for the urban centers. Some of the shocks are acute, things that can happen in an instant and change the whole dynamic of stuff, so like flooding and hurricane. We also have stuff like what's happening now in the hike in energy prices. Those are shocks to the system that can have an effect on the urban centers. We look at stressors, which are more long-term stuff, like coastal erosion and sea level rise. We look at even drought and stuff like that, which have a more long-term effect.
He added that from the findings of the research conducted, the Urban Development Unit would then create projects that would address those issues. Azare Liebert, Kamar Grant, Hassani MacDonald, Siobhan Phipps, Kiwani Brown, Chantrice Dorset are the 6 nationals who graduated from the UWI Norman Manley Law School in Jamaica. Congratulations poured in on social media for the new graduates from families, friends, and ministers Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, who is the Minister of Education, and Samuel Duggins. Kamar Grant was awarded the Principal's Honor Roll from 2020 to 2022. Grant was also awarded Most Outstanding Student over 2 years. He and Hassani MacDonald were also awarded Most Outstanding Year 2 students. Azare Liebert and Kamar Grant were awarded the Hugh Hart Prize for Best Performance in Legal Drafting and Interpretation of Landlord and Tenant Examinations while being involved in co-curricular activities. Kamar was also awarded the Williams, McCoy, and Palmer Prize II, the K.C. Burke Memorial Prize, the Kelsick Wilkin and Ferdinand Prize, the Michael Nunez Memorial Prize, the Sir Colin McGregor Memorial Prize, and he shares the Keith Stanford Sobian Memorial Prize with 3 other graduates. 2 young Nevisions were the recipients of the Nevision Association of Washington, D.C. or Nev DC Award, held under the theme Youth in Action, Small Waves, Big Impact. Nev DC presented awards to Miss Shalissa Glassford of Clay Gut and Mr. Jelani Manners of Hard Times Estate at the 17th Annual Nev DC Honors Banquet held recently at Martin's Crosswind in Washington, D.C. In his brief remarks, Nev DC's president, Mr. Anthony Pemberton, commended the honorees for their contribution to Nevis's development. He said, quote, "Shalissa and Jelani are just two of the many determined, educated, and talented young people who are making small waves with a big impact on Nevis. They are on a mission to leave their mark as change leaders. They are doing this by intentionally solving social challenges in the areas of communications, sports, music, commerce, and the arts," end quote. Nev DC is a non-partisan, non-profit organization founded in November 2003 by a group of Nevisians committed to having a positive impact on the lives of Nevisians at home and abroad. The association plans and hosts events each year to support projects in Nevis. Funds raised have supported projects representing the mission of the organization, including educational, health, and social projects. We move now to news on the regional scene. Far-right Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro and his leftist challenger Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva voted early on Sunday. Opinion polls suggest the leftist ex-president has a commanding lead. More in this Euronews report.
Brazilians started voting this Sunday in a highly polarized general election pitting incumbent President Jair Bolsonaro against his political nemesis, former President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva.